Hey everyone, it's Matt with jinX Brothers, and we've got ourselves another non-quarter hunt. Well, it's not a non-quarter hunt. It's a non-box of quarters because I went to the bank today and said, can you give me anything else? I took those nickels back and they said, hey, we had this customer turn in coin that they've been hoarding at their house for 60 years, supposedly. And they had $40 in nickels. Look at these nickel rolls. Look how old they look, which is pretty exciting. And they had $300 in quarters. So if they are not fibbing, 60-year-old quarters should have some silver. So I'm going to jump into these rolls. I think I want to start with, the quarters because it's been a while since I've been in the quarters and I would love to find a silver quarter. And then I'll move over to the nickels, and maybe these customers weren't lying and have some wonderful nickels and quarters to share. So we'll break into these rolls. That's a non-silver. Like I'm gonna find a silver under, and see if we can find ourselves something cool. So I'll come back at you with my first find. Well, this box should be pretty interesting. I've ran through roll number 1, and they have some really nice bicentennials in here, which is pretty promising. We found 10 pence from 2005. And look at this 82. It's not perfect. He's got some nicks by his nose. But you do not see 82s or 83s that look this nice. So I am setting it aside. I'm just hoping I can find some silver in here. What do you think? Well, I finished the box. I know I didn't come back in, but it was only $300 worth of quarters. And when I started going through them, I realized that I really set my expectations too high. When they said this is a collection of quarters from someone that had thrown in a jug for the last 60 years, I was like, oh, this is gonna be awesome. And it was really just a bunch of nicer condition, semi-old coins. We got ourselves 4 nickels. Not a lot of fun to get that. We did have some really nice looking bicentennials, which have great mint luster still on them. So I'm gonna keep the nicer ones of those. We ended up with a Showbiz pizza place. Not sure if you kids remember that or not. I certainly do. Got a Canadian. We got that pence. We have some nice 83s, 82s, and a really nice 97 that I want to check against my book. And then these are all nicer state quarters that I'm checking against my book, or they're going back. But I wanted to pluck them out while I had some nicer quarters just to see if I was missing anything. So nothing special. Time to get into the nickels. Hopefully they're a little bit better. Only one way to find out, though. Well, as you can see, the nickels weren't much better. The most interesting thing about the nickels was these wrappers. This one's from Kentucky. This one's from Massachusetts. Some of them had nothing. They all looked old, but they're all just random wrappers from all over the place. We got ourselves a Canadian, a 1968. It's in really nice shape. The coins overall were nice. I mean, look at this 88 that I pulled. There was tons of 80s, tons of 90s. There was a handful of 2000s, but most of them were 80s and 90s. And we only got 2 what you would call finds. We got a 48 and a 46. Both P's. So, and neither of them are in great shape, so I can see why they might have thrown these back just because they're like, nah, these aren't such great older quarter or older nickels. I think I'm just going to huck them back. So my guess is this might have been like a semi-collector that is just dumping some of their higher volume coins, because they do have some nicer coins from the 80s and 90s, and they kept the nicer stuff. So much for a great, amazing, fabulous find, but that's the life of a coin roll hunter. Sometimes you score, and sometimes you strike out. Well, anyhow, I am going to wrap this one up. Thankfully, when I took the halves back today, after my stream, I was able to score a box of quarters. So that'll be my next video out, is a new box. Unfortunately, they are customer wrapped, but that's the game we're playing right now. So keep your eyes peeled for my new quarter hunt. It should be out in a couple of days. And if you enjoyed the hunt, give us a thumbs up. Please consider subscribing if you haven't already subscribed. And I'll catch y'all on the next hunt.